Welcome to the Brown Bricks Podcast. The most amount of fun you can have while listening to a podcast. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Alright, well, what's up, everybody?
Yeah.
Not a lot.
I've been talking to some people who have actually listened to our podcast.
Yeah.
First of all, one of them is my mother,
They're not
who has
just bots.
listened to our podcast a couple episodes.
Our target audience.
Yeah. And then one
People
of
we
them's...
Other than the Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them's an internet friend of mine who I didn't have him listen to it, but he's been listening to our episodes, and he listened to the most recent one as well.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Whoever
He
you
goes
are.
by Super Smurfy. Shout out to Super Smurfy.
Bad name, but
Nothing wrong with the Smurfs.
Yeah.
Quite supportive, unlike some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
Some of our
talking
friends.
about?
look,
Never
Matt
listen to
may
a
not
podcast.
listen,
I have a paper to write.
but he's in it.
What do you,
so-
oh, you have a paper to write right now, but you haven't listened to any of our other podcasts.
Yeah.
I've just never listened to any podcast, so like that's just like
That's
Oh,
fair.
okay.
No, that's perfect guy we got to crack though, because
Yeah.
other people listen to tons of podcasts already. We got to get those podcast virgins. Right?
Yeah, so they don't realize how bad our podcast
Yeah.
is. They're just like, oh, this is how they all must
Like
sound.
this is literally better than every other podcast. If you don't like this, don't even bother with the others.
are you on
Very
Spotify,
true.
guys?
We are
We are
on
on
every
Spotify.
Every
platform.
platform.
Yeah,
you
still
can get your
from-
podcast. Okay,
We-
so I've got some criticisms leveled at us.
Impossible.
My mom says that it's hard for her to really know who's who. We don't really differentiate ourselves.
I
very
mentioned
well.
that during one. Though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did
that
talk
is-
about
that's
that a
fair.
bit, and I don't know how we can really improve on that other than I
Voice
guess
changes.
introducing our voices.
Yeah, we should just introduce ourselves probably.
Yeah. Let's start doing that right now.
Yeah.
Introduce our voices to each other. All right,
Hello, I'm Phineas.
Well, I'm Tej.
this is Jackson's voice.
And this is Jack.
Yes.
All right,
Now you know.
criticism solved.
Criticism over. And then Smurfy said something about Tej is weird because he wants to fuck children.
That's
Well,
okay.
I don't know.
I feel like he had spice to the. He adds a little bit of children
I don't
fucking
want to fuck
spice.
children. I just, there used to be a distinction, right? That's all I'm saying. right?
Exactly.
I do like-
and that's why
it's-
it's weird.
But
Definition
if you
of
want to
terms.
fuck children, email us at brownbrickspodcast@gmail.com. we got to plug that.
We're gonna
early.
form.
Yeah,
we're gonna
no,
form
it's
a
true.
lobby.
We got our retention's bad. We gotta get the plugs in early. Also, go to reddit.com brownbrickspodcast.
/Brown Bricks podcast.
No one is going on the subreddit.
Like comments I haven't even gone on.
Yeah,
No, nobody should.
I go on because I made it.
Have you made any posts there yet?
I made a post for episode 6,
Oh,
Nice.
and
Okay.
that's it.
And then,
Awesome.
then people can comment and discuss
They could.
things about it. They could.
That's something that hypothetically could and also could have happened.
To be fair, you
in
just
a
said I said it.
hypothetical world.
I think you said I set up the subreddit 30 minutes into the last podcast.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh wait, I should.
Oh yeah, and
transfer-
then the podcast came out. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta make it.
Yeah.
But I was listening to it back, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did say I'd do that, didn't I?
Yeah.
But now it's true.
Yeah, that's a real thing. And then, that's about all the criticisms I have. But I really appreciate that you guys have been listening. At least the few people that have.
Unlike my friends who are just like, oh, you made a podcast, and I'm like, yeah, you probably wouldn't like it, and then I send it to them, they're like, I'll listen to this, and then you know that they haven't because they just talk to you normally like a normal person afterwards.
They're not horrified of
So
the
yeah,
things you've
So I
said.
take it then you haven't got any dick pics on the Gmail, Jack.
I've not, no.
Damn.
What the fuck?
Guys, we're counting on you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I,
Gotta
really let
do
us
a
down.
group masturbation session to all the pics you sent in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was gonna be,
That
yeah,
was gonna-
now we don't
that
have
was
a
our
plan
goal.
for episode 7.
Yeah, you guys really fucked us here.
Here's a product review for those listening. Fucking Bud Light Seltzer Peppermint Patty. Shit.
It's a bad
Who could
flavor.
have
Right.
thought? Why?
If only we had a sponsorship to fund us to buy more Franzia.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Now we have to switch
we've
over to Bud Light
Gone
Seltzer.
this,
To be
this
fair,
bargain brand peppermint patty seltzer.
I emailed Franzia and they were like, "So, by the way, you we'll get back to you. We'll send it to our marketing
Yeah.
team. And if they want to send you anything, we'll let them know." And I'm like, "Thanks."
And we haven't got anything back.
We haven't?
She would
Well-
let us know.
Well, no, it's been about a week, so they're probably waiting on the next podcast.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. They're like, let's wait and see. We like what we've heard so far.
This is make or
Can
break,
they
guys.
be consistent throughout the winter
every
season.
time I take a sip of this peppermint patty seltzer, I just pretend it's some Franzia pink moss. That brings me to my happy place.
As opposed to now, where I'm very
Now
sad.
I'm sad.
Very sad.
Oh god. So I got pulled over on Wednesday because I'm doing a clinical trial. They test experimental drugs on me, and I have to go back for a return like every other week or so. And so I drove down there, and I was on my way back, and I guess my plates were expired. I was going very fast, so I figured I was being pulled over for speeding because I was going like 85 in like the 70 zone, and I'm like, but that's what everybody does
Yeah, no,
on the
It's
freeway.
it's
up there.
75 up to the freeway, so like
Yeah.
if you go 85, no one gives a shit.
But yeah, I was going pretty fast, and then I saw the lights behind me, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm just getting a speeding ticket or whatever. I guess that's fine. That sucks that I'm about to lose the money I just made by going
You
to the
resign
clinical trial.
yourself to.
Yeah, but I pulled over, and he came up to the window, and I wasn't like really scared at all. That was like the first time I'd ever been pulled over. But I mean, obviously, I have no reason to be scared because I'm white.
Yes.
Listeners, if you did not know this,
We
are
we had a large contingent who thought that
I
it was
was
going to be
a black man. But I did have my hands on the wheel and everything just to be certain. And it's a fucking it was a state trooper, and state troopers.
They
they're-
shot me in the arm.
Yeah. State troopers are so fucking sad because it's like this is all you have to do. Like you don't have a real responsibility out here on the highway. Other than pulling over people for having like expired license plates.
Well, they pull over people who they racially profile.
Yeah, they
have
saw my
drugs.
long hair and like this guy's a fucking stoner piece of shit. Time to kill him. Make any sudden moves. I need to execute this guy. But yeah, he pulled over with his stupid little state trooper hat, which I'm not sure why they all have to wear that.
They make fun of them. They're just
That's
like you.
that's the badge for them. They don't have
Well,
the badge,
yeah.
they have that.
They
Yeah.
do have.
I don't think they do. I think they have the hat instead.
I think it would be funny if they replaced that state trooper hat with one of those little like propeller hats.
Propeller beanie.
Yeah, and so you just
And it worked. You
Yeah.
could fly
You
with
could
it.
fly with the propeller beanie.
that would be pretty cool. If they had that.
He told me, it was like, why do you think I pulled you over today? I'm like, I
hate
don't
that.
know.
That's a
Fucking-
douchey
I
question.
know.
I hate that they're yelling
I know.
Yeah, no, because okay, I
Looking
guess
for fucking excuses.
is the
like,
reason why they're doing
what does
that
he
like
think?
it's like, oh, I pulled you over for no good reason, but if you say something,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
like, I can get you on
Is
that.
there ever anything good to answer that except like I don't know?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not
Right?
really.
It's like you didn't know. Now the fine's double.
Yeah, you weren't aware of the crime you just
Crime.
committed.
reckless driving.
Crime's extra illegal when you don't know you're doing it.
But I really didn't know. I figured he was speeding, but I wasn't obviously going to say that. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He's like, your plates are expired? And I'm like, awesome. Like, okay, license and registration. And I fumble around in my glove compartment looking for a registration.
And he
'cause
shoots your
I've,
dog.
I've literally never had to do that, so I'm like, what does a registration look like, Mr. Officer? He's like, it's a little, like, pink slip. I'm like, alright, I guess I'll look around.
What you should have done when you open up the glove box is you should have been like, no, don't panic, but I have a gun in there. So, but then when you open it and there's no gun in there, you go, oh no!
Where is it?
Where's my gun?
It's probably on the floor somewhere. 1 second.
Yeah.
Let me find it before you come in. But he took like 10 minutes after taking my license and registration to print off a piece of paper that was just simply a warning to tell me to get my license plate renewed.
Do you think they do that on purpose? Because they take forever to do whatever they're
fucking
doing in their
know.
car. They just like masturbate. They're
Yeah.
just like, this is ruining this guy's day.
Typing shit. Yeah, I know. It's like typing whatever into like his computer and just like, yep. I figured out exactly what I have to do. Time to sit here for 10 more minutes and make him sweat it out. Maybe he'll run for it. Maybe
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, maybe he'll fucking bolt out the door for some reason.
He's got like he's got like the Batmobile like guns on the side.
Yeah.
So like whenever anyone like gets out of the car, he's like, "We got a runner."
waiting for you to take a step
Here's-
out of the car.
Here's some fun legal advice. If when they pull you over and ask, why do you think I pulled you over? If you look in the eyes and say, love, they let you go.
And then they say,
Because
it's
cops
more than
don't want to be gay.
Bro, dude,
come on,
stop.
get out of
Get
here.
the fuck out of here.
Get out of here. That's so-
That's not why I pulled you over.
Jesus, whatever. Just go.
Yeah.
Speaking of like white guys getting off easy for just general car mischief. I had a friend who he got pulled over for going like 85 in a 60 zone, and he was basically able to like. He was just like he didn't like cry, but he's like, "This is my first ticket. I'm so sorry. I'm so scared and stuff." And he like he bartered the cop down to being like, "All right, you were going 62 in this 60 zone," and then he went to his parents and he's like, "Look at this asshole cop who just pulled me over for going 2 miles." And so they laughed about that. And I was like, "That's genius," but also, yeah, perfect.
What a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
How old was he when he?
He was like 17.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Yes.
he had a very boyish face. I mean,
Very
he probably left out the
childish.
part where the cop was like, well, "What can you do for me here?"
And he was also very drunk at the time.
Yeah, he was plastered.
The cop didn't recognize this because he was so young.
Yeah,
He just thought it was a simple boyish charm.
he was like, "This is how the young
So
people
bubbly.
speak nowadays," with a slight tinge of peppermint patty Bud Light seltzer
On
on
their
their
breath.
breath.
He just
Yeah,
goes
if
to brush his
someone
teeth.
smelled your breath after drinking this, they would not think that you would drink because it doesn't smell like alcohol. It
Yes.
just smells.
It would smell like you like.
It's like, oh yeah, you will fucking use like fucking mint toothpaste
Yeah,
or mint
mouthwash.
mouthwash after
Yeah.
drinking to hide the smell. This fucking skips that right away.
Yeah, skip that.
That's really
This is not.
genius,
This is
really.
not made for enjoyment. This is made for utility.
I can appreciate that.
For
It
drinking and
honestly,
driving.
because you do definitely smell a little bit of alcohol in there, so it smells like you took a shot of
mouthwash.
spirit. Yeah,
Yeah.
you took a shot of spiritus, and then you just like brushed your teeth, and then you're like, "All right, we're good." And so you can still taste that like tinge.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's fucking gross.
Because mouthwash doesn't smell inherently alcoholic. It smells it smells
like
a lot.
mouthwash.
Yeah.
Mouthwashy.
And I need to use mouthwash. I just brush my teeth and floss.
You're not meant to use it right
I don't
after
think-
brushing
yeah.
your teeth. You're meant to like let the fluoride sit on your teeth.
Okay.
I don't
For
think
a bit.
mouthwash is that important for
It's definitely
teeth
the
health.
least important of the dental
Yeah.
care trifecta.
I've been
it's good for your
flossing way
gums,
more
though, right?
ever since.
Yeah, but brushing and flossing are better for it.
The worst part of dental visits to me is when they have to scrape all the plaque off your teeth. So I just
Yeah.
I've started more recently since my last dental visit to floss way more, just so I don't have to deal with that shit
Mhm.
as much, because that hurts.
Well, like the ones where they do like your front teeth and then
Yeah.
they start like
Ugh.
and they start like chipping things. Where they're like,
Ugh.
I don't know. There's something very uncomfortable about getting your teeth messed with.
Yeah.
That probably shouldn't be that uncomfortable. It's
Well,
not
it's
that
because it's
easy.
not really natural. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty
not
good about
a natural
flossing and shit
sensation.
now, but
Yeah.
I used to be bad about it. I'm good about it now, so like my teeth are healthy, but like they're just stained yellow from previous years of abuse.
You could get like whitening strips.
I
for sure.
could,
yeah,
but then I'd have
that's
to bother to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, the same guy who the same guy who got pulled over. He put whitening strips on and then fell asleep because he was like really tired, and he woke up like 5 hours later, and the whitening strips like basically like fuck with your teeth in a way where you can only have them on for like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
or
they're
else
not.
you-
It's not good for. It makes your teeth look better, but it's not good for your teeth. to
Yeah,
do whitening
but
shit.
like that just like is pure. It was like pure pain in his mouth for like a week afterwards.
Oh my
yeah, it makes
God.
them really sensitive. I know. Like,
Yeah, because like
maybe,
anytime
maybe
you
it's similar to like bleaching your teeth.
Just
Yeah.
melt
You
your
just
enamel.
give it a
back.
little wash with bleach.
It melts the yellow enamel on your mouth and your teeth down to the white enamel, so
Yes.
it whitens it back up. That's fucked up,
It's-
homie.
It's like a what's like the cleaning stuff? It's not like Febreze, but Lysol. It's like putting like
Right.
Lysol on your teeth and
Yeah.
wiping it down. Basically the same thing.
Medically, the same thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
probably.
Right, Tej? You would know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
he
get
says yeah.
dental school.
Yeah, Tate's going to dentist.
Oh yeah, we
man.
should
There's a
call
lot
in
of
fucking
dentists.
Matt here.
Senior
What's
Oh
his
dentist,
name?
yeah.
he's the dentist.
He's
Oh,
a
I-
tooth boy here.
It was really funny because I had to for a class I had to shadow at some place and I forgot about it up until like 3 days before and I was like time to start calling some people and so I called a bunch of places and a bunch of them were like we can't do it but this dentist guy was like yeah sure I'll take you and so I went in and I did like the dentist stuff and he's like so why are you here and I'm like I'm interested in dental school and then he was like afterwards he like gave me his card and he's like yeah tell him I don't want to shadow anyone else but if you need anything in, as far as dental school goes hit me like contact me and I'm like you're way too nice I'm sorry man.
I'm sorry I manipulated you like this.
I like that it's called shadowing. It makes it seem secret. and-
Mysterious.
I mean it's just
Ninja,
weird like it's a very weird time because you
sitting in.
yeah you're just like I'm just
You're
gonna
hiding.
yeah.
Yeah, somebody's like
You're
there
in
for
the
like.
shadows.
I watched him do a root canal it was kind of cool it was
I would hate to be the person just sitting there like, who the fuck is this guy in the corner?
Well, no, I always
That's
introduce
why.
yourself, like,
That's
yeah, you
why
introduce
you have
yourself.
to
Still
truly become a shadow, so they don't even notice
Yeah.
you.
I
yeah.
don't even notice your presence there.
But like you, I always it's really funny because like for a little bit I just had like a clipboard, so I like looked mildly professional. I looked like I was taking notes on stuff when I was just like watching this guy do a root canal. Because I figured if I was just like sitting
Taking
there like
notes.
what's going on here, like what's. But then yeah, you ask them like questions like while they're like doing the most painful procedure on someone, and they're just very calm about it because they've done it a million times.
Yeah.
Imagine, Phineas, if you were doing your urethra,
Stint.
yeah, your stint,
Yeah.
and someone was shadowing you on
Yeah,
that.
would
and
you
it's-
Yeah,
Well, there
it like-
was another person there, but they were. I don't know if
It's like a
they.
med student.
They were like actually helping. Right.
but it's like
It's
a
a
it's like a
one-man
freshman.
procedure.
It's like
Yeah.
a freshman girl who's
Yeah.
like kind
it
of
was
interested in
a. It was
medicine.
a pretty young looking girl.
Nice.
I wouldn't say freshman, but
Saw your cock.
Would you tell them? Would you tell, or would they just kind of like saunter in? Because you would be more uncomfortable. It's like, all right, this freshman girl is gonna shadow as we put
this
as we put
freshman
your
in high
stint in.
school is about
Yeah.
to see your cock.
she like prepped everything. She like lubed up the camera that went down.
Oh
my
yeah,
keyhole.
she was.
Woo!
But she wasn't fucking man in the cannon when it came back.
Oh damn.
She doesn't have a license for
Oh
that.
no, her role was that whenever she would be like, "All right, put more water, please," and then she would inject more water through it,
Ooh.
and then he managed the hook in the camera and got it further up there.
Yeah. He brought it home.
Yeah.
Brought it all the way up. Damn, that's hot, dude. That's so hot.
No, there's. I don't
What
know.
would it be like to get an erection while they were doing that to me? I wonder.
Uh-oh.
I thought you
Oopsie
physically
daisy.
could.
Huh?
I don't know if you physically could, right?
If you believe in yourself.
I don't
would
know.
just squeeze the stint tight.
I mean, blood could presumably still flow down there,
yeah, but
but what would it do?
I'm sure physiologically your body's like, don't get hard right now. This is not
Yeah.
a good time. Don't do
People
that.
who are into sounding would get kidney stones on purpose just to go through that procedure.
They're rock hard the whole
They're
time.
like, you again. It's like, "Ugh." What can I
Too
say?
much Diet Coke.
Just making orgasmic noises as they put the stint up.
Yeah.
That'd be gross.
That's. I mean,
That'd be
could
hard,
you come like that if they were like putting the stint up and then just
I don't know.
It would
I'm not into sounding.
it would go back into your balls, and that's would be the
Back
first. It'd be
Back up.
first male pregnancy.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it like if your balls
Self-insemination.
explode, you just like die? Isn't that?
Your testicles.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
Well, no, I know something about like the pain like is like maybe fatal if like you get your balls
I'm sure
crushed.
you can die from that. Yeah,
the
but
shock of it. Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
I don't think there's any vital organs down there.
There's like all of your like arteries just run straight into your testes.
I love there's like that classics, like I guess it's, I don't know if it's like a folk tale of like the guy who was like at the ball for the king or something, and he held his pee so long that his bladder exploded. I always think about that.
You were told different folk tales.
I don't remember what it was. I feel like it was like a story
The
of something
classic
that
Midwestern.
I feel like it was something that might have really happened, and people just told it like it was a folk tale. Like this is something that actually happened to someone
like
in
a marathon.
in medieval times, where this guy, he held his pee so long his bladder exploded and he died. That would probably kill you for sure.
I feel like that's not possible to do.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I feel like your body would just.
But maybe.
Yeah, your
Like,
body.
I'm sure you could have, like,
nervous system would just.
there can be like bad
You
like
just pee your
consequences
pants.
to holding your pee.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
you just
if
pee
your
your
body at a
pants.
certain point would override
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
desire to hold it.
Because it's
The
like
floodgates would be released.
that's I don't know. That's like holding your breath and then just being, and then he died because he couldn't breathe, and it's like he believed in himself so much that he just
Yeah.
didn't take
Make
a
yourself
breath.
pass out.
Yeah, but pass out
Mind
and then
over matter.
afterwards your body's like,
Yeah.
no, even now.
Mind over matter, bro.
What if like they found out that was the suicide method with the highest success rate, like 100%.
Holding your pee.
Yeah.
And so you just an epidemic of depressed teens across the nation.
Just not
Peeing.
When you
And,
die, you pee
It's
yourself,
like
don't you?
don't report stories about it. It will inspire more people to do it.
It's like the school shooter thing.
It's like we need to spread myths that you can't hold your pee that way.
I love,
That
like,
it will come out.
like-
Because if they know,
they know that it's over.
I wish that was like a thing in Death Note where like experimented more with like ways to kill yourself.
Yeah, it's like you hold your breath, kill yourself by holding your
You hold
breath.
your pee so long you die.
Elle's
It's like, how is he doing this? How are they holding the pee this long?
yeah, L would be like, it must have something to do with how it works, right? I like the idea. He's like, no, experimenting. He just found that way doing it, and he does that every time.
Yeah, it's just,
No more heart
it's just
attacks.
yeah, it's like, oh wow, it's like, it's not the heart attacks that's the dead giveaway. It's like all of these prisoners died because they held their pee in for 3 days, and it's like Elle's like, it's not a coincidence anymore.
Yeah.
This is a pattern.
And then the scene where the guy pretends to be L on TV, and then he dies. He's just like, give me a second. Just bladder explodes. And then L comes on, it's like, we cut you.
We got you.
We've been brought
Yeah, they don't call him Kira, they just call him the no pee man.
just, he's like, I like it.
The piss murderer.
Oh,
The bladder breaker.
that one picture of Light saying, like, it never even occurred to me that there are social
Yeah.
economic things that will make someone commit a crime. It literally never crossed my mind. And there's a bunch of people that are like, yeah, that's why I hate Death Note. I'm like, I wasn't the good guy.
Yeah, he was a good person for what he's doing. He's, in fact, the bad person.
I do like how there's this thing in media where they're like, if there's anyone even remotely
Problem.
bad who's not immediately shown to be 100% like evil and needs to be disposed of, then the media is just endorsing that ideology. It's like,
Yeah.
oh
It's like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't read nuance in my media either. I also struggle
Yeah.
with nuanced
What I hate
characters.
with villains is when they're like, they're actually kind of morally gray. It's just when they have like literally any reason at all.
Yeah. There's like one scene where they have like a daughter, and you're like, oh.
There was a joke that was like, all villains who are morally gray are just like regular evil people, but like mildly attractive. So it's
Very
just
true.
like, I don't know,
At
like
least
they,
in terms of like anime and manga,
yeah.
for sure.
I do like how people
If there's a
are,
hot
like,
girl in the enemy side, it's like they're not gonna be evil for too long.
they're not going to be evil for too long.
Unless
They'll either
they're
join the
MC
hero side or they'll
fucking-
die.
Yeah, S-Death. She's just evil.
Yeah, it's
She's
true.
just a Nazi.
She's pretty hot.
But she is hot.
She's one hot. not Nazi.
Yeah.
Who's this?
From
Girl from
Akame
Akame.
Oh, is she the ice lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, she was just the main bad guy though. So
I remember because it was like that and Seraph at the end. Because around that time, like Attack on Titan just came out, and a bunch of new people, myself included, like got into the seasonal anime game, and they were just like, "Man, what's gonna be the next Attack on Titan after Attack on Titan?" And so people were like, "I guess Seraph at the end's the next Attack on Titan." And it's like, oh wow, it just showed everybody how bad anime was on the whole.
yeah,
Where
or at least
It was made by the same studio, right?
well, the animation
Oh, yeah.
studio, but
Same-
they
but
not
different
everyone
writer.
writer, the same writer.
yeah, but I mean that was why, because they were like, oh, it's a cool like post-apocalypse, and also same animation studio, so clearly
It's
they're
the
up to the
exact
same
same
level.
thing.
I just liked it because it had the smug waifu.
Yeah.
That's the
Shino.
best. Yeah, she's the best. There's
She's
that
pretty
one.
good.
Is it worth the watch though?
It's fun.
For the
Yeah,
That's
it's,
not
it's
good.
pretty fun.
As okay action.
Literally just for her and
Uh,
the aesthetic.
The first couple episodes, like the first episode, it had an interesting start.
It's
Yeah.
But then I wish it just stayed like kids in the Vampire City.
Is
like
the
a
manga
Promised
over?
Neverland vibe for Seraph at the end would have been cool.
Yeah.
Man, are you guys caught up with Promised Neverland? Did you see its
I
I'm
mean,
ending?
I
not.
saw
caught up.
that it's ending.
I did
Are they
read
coming
the
out
last
with a second-
chapter and spoiled myself for no good reason. I was reading it, keeping caught up. Then I lost interest after a bit, and I read the last
I
chapter.
stopped.
And I had no
spoil
idea
it,
what was
though.
happening.
Well, I caught
I
up
couldn't tell
when they
you.
were at the pond arc.
No,
Don't-
yeah,
Anything after the show, I don't know.
yeah. But the show.
I didn't
that's-
say anything that was too spoilery there.
Out of the
Yeah, they
pond.
play chess. They play chess for a long time.
And
Yeah.
the pond is how they get back to the human world. I don't know if that's true.
I don't.
I don't
know.
remember the pond arc.
I don't know.
It's
that's
all
where I
kind of a
stopped.
blur after the orphanage.
Yeah, it's
The orphanage escape was the peak, and then
Yeah.
it was still kind of cool after. But
And then it,
Just
but
goes
by the
downhill.
end, like I only say that because like the last like 20 chapters is just the author shitting himself on the page for
Yeah.
20 chapters.
yeah, there was no way that
It was gonna
that
be yeah.
show was gonna live up to like the mystery they
The
created.
actual
Like,
lore of like the world is not interesting at all.
No.
Yeah, and because that's the last arc is all lore.
And
the
I'm
last
like,
arc is like
yeah.
political machinations in the world, and I'm like, who the fuck cares?
like the framework that was intriguing about it was humans are enslaved by demons, and then there's also like a human world they can escape to. Stick with the framework.
Yeah.
Like, don't like bring like politics into it. Like, and actually, these are the good
Wait,
demons.
there's a
and
human
they-
world they can escape to?
That's not new. That's,
yeah,
That
they had the
That's like
books.
That's
The
like
one
the core
really-
premise of the
it wasn't
manga.
confirmed.
They had
in
the
the
books
show.
in
the
there.
one
Well,
pretty
come on.
racist made the one really racist made
Yeah.
had the pen. Remember? Because that was
Well, yeah,
That was
there was
lead.
also like the books in the library that were like from 2012 or whatever.
Yeah.
Can I say, Jack? I appreciate they use your sweater to cover the vape because even on the most recent episodes, you can still hear it. The fucking
The
that's
vape
my
noise.
criticism. Your mom, your online friend, and mine is fucking the vaping noises are no good.
yeah,
As
I
one of
can-
the two people here who actually listens to our podcast.
No, I can no.
Stop it!
That's
Jason.
why.
I just said
There's
don't
no
do
way
that.
you can hear that over your
I
Yeah,
we
you might
me
be
and Jack
able to,
listen
yeah.
to it.
No,
We're telling you.
Yeah,
Jack.
You
after
don't
guys,
listen.
It picks it up.
You
Yeah.
guys are talking, you know. Damn.
Well, you can hear it in the background. There's like a snake.
Yeah,
You've got a lot of
fifth
game.
member.
When I first heard it, I'm like, is someone just like very carefully sipping something?
Yeah, I know, but then it got because it's consistent.
Yeah.
Where
And I could tell it was vaping because there's a lot more frequent on the episode Sean was on.
yep. No, that's. But I mean, hopefully we'll see how the sweater works out.
Yeah.
The sweater muffler,
Yeah.
yeah. Vaping's bad, kids. Don't
you
do it.
shouldn't do it.
Just
It's-
smoke.
Just yeah,
Smoke
it's so dumb.
cigs.
But I
It
don't
looks
know
cooler.
what.
I said
Smoking
it looks
cigs.
cooler.
Oh,
Yeah.
smoking is cooler. Yeah. Apparently because like a bunch of people are like you need to get a pop filter on your mic. And then a bunch of other people are like, no, you don't. Like, unless you're right next to the mic and you're saying a bunch of P's and T's.
Yeah, I doubt we need one
We're
from
too
this
we're
distance.
too raw for any sort of filter.
Raw,
It's
uncut.
true.
Yeah,
I'll start censoring all our bad words.
this ain't your mama's podcast. This is Jackson's mama's podcast.
She's the manager.
Somehow, I
Unbeknownst to
don't
us.
think she's gonna be listening to any more episodes. But
That's
maybe.
unsurprising, yeah.
Yeah. Does she
Yeah.
have any content complaints? You're too crass.
No, she thought you were funny when you told your story about getting the stint and the kidney stone.
That was
Thought
pretty
that was
funny.
Thank you, Jackson's
No,
mom.
I don't think She thinks we're too crass at all, so I don't think she cares.
She didn't hear the pedophile Discord.
Maybe
I don't
she
know.
did.
I can't keep track of our episodes.
I don't know what I
We
would
have
say.
too many.
Yeah, if you have any content complaints, stop watching this podcast or listening to this podcast right now.
If you have any content complaints, good. That's what I say. Expand your mind.
What's
One
his-
of my roommates, I sent him the picture of the peppermint patty thing, and I was just like, oh, this is really bad. And then one of my roommates is like, what are you doing, Jackson? And my name is not Jackson, it's Jack. And one of my other roommates, who's probably intoxicated right now because it was a game day, just sent like this back. And it's him kind of blurry pointing to the camera saying, how name is Jackson, apologize, in all caps. And
That's pretty funny.
and then my other roommate just sent back, bro, huh?
Bro, huh?
So yeah, that's
Oh,
good.
shit. Do we win?
No, we died.
We
Oh,
lost. Our
Against
team
Illinois?
lost,
We
friend.
died. What?
Our
What are we
our
talking?
They curb
Our
stomped us.
team
No,
lost.
What are we talking
Oh,
about?
in college ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the,
they fucked us.
the fourth quarter. The
Oh,
fourth quarter
sports.
was them.
I'm like, we died.
The fourth quarter was them taking all of our players out to the sidewalk and curb stomping all of their heads individually.
Oh no.
They did it like 8 times for Martinez, and people were like, "You know what? That's fine." And then people were like, "Are you gonna get Scott
Fair.
Frost?" And they're like, "No, he's the only reason we won this game." What a piece
Yeah,
of shit.
college
Bullshit.
ball, friends.
Sports.
We're all big
Yeah,
fans. of
we're
college
cultured
ball.
here. Brown Bricks
Yeah,
podcast.
you know, culture, college football. That's
Yeah.
real culture. I suppose it is culture.
Yeah.
I remember.
Midwest culture.
We
What
live
was-
in a culture.
Yeah, no, I remember I did a.
Why isn't there college monster truck racing?
It can be kind of expensive.
Yeah, and football isn't expensive.
Well, football on its head is not that. But like the amount of people who would show up to, because football pays for itself and pays for pretty
Yeah.
much all the other sports. But monster truck racing, I doubt there'd be as many people showing up to a monster
I-
truck
They need
I
rally.
to
think
market
I would
that
show
hard.
up.
They
I
need
would
to
show
fucking
up
Yeah.
be
more.
like the next big thing in sports. Fucking
Monster
monster
College
truck
monster
racing.
And it's
truck
all
racing.
safe because it's COVID safe, so
Yeah.
everyone can just I don't know. It's I remember I took a class on like culture, like writing in culture or whatever, and one of the guys wrote an essay on like the different like groups and cultures that we find ourselves in, and
The
he wrote.
jocks, the nerds.
Well, it was supposed
the
to be
goths.
like basic stuff, and
I'm
I
a
was like,
goth.
I don't know what to do
Yeah.
because all of mine are really embarrassing, and I don't want to peer review with anyone else. So I was like, I'm in a fraternity. That's my
That's
culture.
my
And I was
culture.
like, should I do mine about the Pokemon cards or should I do it about the anime? And I'm like, no,
No.
I should not. But afterwards, I read one guy's essay who I was supposed to peer review, who was talking about how. The culture that he was a part of was he was like, I really love the Beatles, but no one around me really knows a lot about the Beatles. So the true culture that I found is the YouTube comments section under Beatles videos.
no, fuck.
And he's
Oh,
like,
yeah, he told us
that's the
about this,
culture I've been a part of. That's the true
Born
culture.
you.
YouTube
Wrong
comment
generation.
section culture.
And I
There
was
are
like,
probably people who consider like YouTube comments as their like that is
That's
their
where they
thing,
hang
right? Like that guy you see under every video, Justin
Yeah.
Y,
Just
with the ninja profile pic.
yeah, that guy's a bitch.
yeah.
What's he like?
What's he like in real life? He's probably fat as shit.
Why do we just assume they're fat?
Cause he's on every YouTube video commenting all the time. What do
You
you
make
mean?
good points.
I hope he actually watches the videos.
If we uploaded our podcast to YouTube, we would have one more viewer because he would end up watching it.
It'd be like sick podcast. We should upload clips.
Yeah.
We should spread the word.
Is he a bot? Justin Y.
I think
His stuff he
like,
says is too relevant to the
Yeah.
actual
no,
video.
I think our like algorithms are
Maybe
just
it's
fucking
multiple people.
synchronized, right? Our algorithms are just synchronized. So like all the videos that you
No.
watch.
No,
right?
no, it's like
it's
like a
almost
joke.
like
It's like a
animation.
joke that he's under every video. Like if you read the comments under his comments, it's always just like, why? How are you on everything I watch?
Yeah, I know, but like, what is he usually on? Like, what are you watching when you
This
see?
happens on like any
It
YouTube
literally.
Any-
I've seen
are you
it
sh-
on like Let's Play videos. I've seen on like
Yeah,
the leftist political YouTubers I watch. I've seen them
Well, yeah.
comment.
Because that's like
Well,
Are you
yeah.
Justin
leftist,
Wong?
Well,
and then
yeah.
games and then anime. Like those are probably
Three different things.
Yeah, but they're
But
still
to
still
be fair,
tied
that's
together, right?
there's probably a
And
big
then
intersection.
I mean, is
Yeah,
your
it's a
observation just that he's into the same? He's into
Yeah,
things
it's
that
into
are
the
on
same
the internet.
things that
Okay,
are
but
into
it's just
that
him.
you're
You
into.
realize, right? You realize that it's exceptional in some case. That it's just him that this phenomenon happens with. Realize that's
Yeah.
worth noting in some cases.
Well, no, but most people
And
don't
boil it down
comment
to
on
it's
YouTube
just the
videos.
algorithm, bro.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
No, it's the algorithm is
You're
in
being
sync
reductive.
with your
You're being
your
reductive
watching
right
habits. Maybe your watching habits.
His
are the same as him.
algorithm is the same as Phineas's somehow.
Or
And
just
that-
like
but
the shit that
you
you
get
watch.
other
Right? Just
people
like what
ta-
you recommended is the same. With what
Tage
his
is just
No, but
lying. He's
I don't-
trying to convince us that it's
But
like, no, it's
Tage,
fine.
but
that he
Tage, I don't
comments on it.
watch
Why don't
those
you,
three things
Tage,
you listed: games, anime.
Why
leftist
don't you
YouTubers.
want
I
this
don't
to be
watch
special?
those things because of the algorithm. I watch those things
That's-
independently.
yeah,
I'm
because you're
interested in
interested.
games, so I
Tage-
searched out games content.
Yeah.
It's just remarkable that he's under every video.
Tage, the
I don't know what
question
your
I
point here
have,
is.
Tage, the question I have for you is why don't you want this to be special? Why do you want this to be so unspecial?
But like, it's so clearly like weird that he manages to watch all these videos and comment under every one. It's
I don't-
obviously
well, not
weird.
every-
I just,
Maybe
think,
you're
I
just-
just think he watches a lot of YouTube and he'll always comment on stuff.
Yeah,
So-
Yeah.
always on.
It's
he
a-
might just be a funny guy.
It is an
that might-
he's not. It's always boring. It's very.
It's always very-
It's
always
very
very rote.
inane.
Yeah.
mediocre comments.
It's like just enough to know, like, damn, you actually watch this shit. You're not just spamming YouTube.
Yeah.
But
But now he's built up so much of a following that whenever someone would see his
Yeah.
comment, it's like so
They're like,
sure,
holy shit.
reinforcing
but
itself,
my
right?
point is
So
that
it's sometimes
it's obviously it's obviously unique to him. You don't see this anyone else.
yeah, because he's
Not
built
on
that
a lot of
reputation
YouTuber
now,
videos,
right?
though.
He's
He's
built that
not-
reputation.
not yet.
No, he's commented on
Okay.
the trash taste.
So what's your
No.
what's
I
the
saw
point
his
you're
comment.
trying
That
to
feels
make?
like more. Yeah, that feels more trash taste.
What is the
oriented
point you're trying to make
Maybe.
ultimately?
It's-
Other than
It's not
other
that
than he
surprising.
watches.
the same things
It-
that you watch, right?
the f-
And then the thing you notice when he
What
comments,
is
he
this
doesn't.
discussion?
Every
this
video
is
you
not-
watch,
It's just you don't have a real observation here.
yeah, it's
You've just said like
it's
he
not
has
as cool as you think it is. That's
Okay.
It is
I don't
clearly,
care.
it is clearly
This guy is
something
special.
worth noting. It is clearly a notable thing. Clearly, undeniably.
Oh
Yeah,
my
but it's
God,
not as
shut
special
the fuck
as
up.
You make it out to be. That's my point. All right, I'll let it,
Awesome,
I'll let
okay.
it, I'll let it rest.
You're a
Let's move
fucking
on.
idiot.
Let's move on.
You are consistently like a moron.
what are your
You guys
arguments
are giving
against
me a
that?
headache. Shut the fuck
You're
up.
just a dumb bitch.
Well, no, like this argument, like it is giving me a headache purely because I'm just like, what's the point? Like, what's the outcome that's just like either side wins on it?
Yeah.
Like, how does?
Just
Well, that's, I
why
didn't
is-
start this. Stage comes in. He's like, "No, dude, it's that. What do you mean,
True.
no? No to what that I've claimed?
But you stood your ground.
What if I claim? What if I claim that
Well,
you are?
Well, you're claiming that this,
What do you
this is a
dis-
phenomenon.
Oh
This-
my
I
God.
think it's pretty cool or something, right?
Yeah, and you
It's-
disagree. That's a phenomenon that I think is cool.
Yeah, I don't think it's that cool. And those are my arguments. Fuck you, Phineas. That's pretty much what I'm
You're
trying to say.
so stupid.
No, ad hominem. Oh, you're so stupid. Oh,
moving
on.
baby
Alright.
Phineas.
Okay, very
Let
good.
us know in the subreddit. What do you think? Tage is a fucking idiot.
Oh, baby
And
Phineas.
if you say
Oh,
no-
baby
Get,
Phineas.
If you say no, I will delete your comment.
Let's get a YouTube animator to animate some portions of our podcast. Let's get somebody to animate the gay sex swing portion of our podcast.
This is sad.
It's not like they're not actually fans of us. They're not fans of us. We're just paying them to animate it.
That'd be really sad. It's like this is a commissioned work.
Yeah.
But it's like that's a surefire sign that I won't watch your podcast if you're just like
Paying
please.
someone to do a fan animation, but they're not even a fan.
I mean,
That would cost a lot too.
yeah, animation's not cheap.
I know.
Please draw Tage with a bullet wound in his head.
You can do that. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah, okay. I'll post fan art of dead Tage to our subreddit, and those will be the only posts. If you guys don't use it, no one who
Brown
listens
bricks.
uses
Is
it.
this like a race?
This is a racist subreddit.
Don't worry, I'll draw Tage as white. I'll draw him
Yeah.
as white
Yeah.
to make it not racist.
Truly.
Okay.
the fuck were we talking about before?
I don't fucking
I had like, oh yeah, no.
or some shit. I don't remember.
Do you guys watch like YouTube videos at 2x speed at this point?
No.
No.
It depends on the content.
If it's something
Yeah,
that I'm just watching, like, not for enjoyment, then maybe. You know,
Yeah.
like,
I guess.
I'm like, how do I do this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a tutorial.
I'll watch like Let's Plays and stuff at 2x speed because I'm like, I just get to the jokes faster.
Well, that's
Like,
because you have, like, cultural FOMO, Jack. Where you're, like,
Yeah.
you're like, I need to know everything that's going on in anime and video games.
I need to
I
have
just
it.
need to have a little
I
bit of
need to
information.
be part of the discourse.
Just
Not
the,
even a
the
part of the
slightest
discourse,
amount of
just-
information so you can talk about it.
Yeah, I don't even really like talk about it online all that much. I literally just like,
Just
I'm like
when-
now I know.
Yeah.
that gets stored in
If
here.
someone mentions it, you can say something about
Yeah, I
it.
can say literally anything as opposed to, yeah, I haven't heard that.
Yeah. Which makes for less discussion, in fact.
Well, yeah, because then you can't introduce it to me. Instead, I have some sort of vague idea,
Instead,
and, you
yeah.
believe, and you believe I actually have an understanding of the concept,
Yeah.
and so we're both talking along very different lines. It's such a good way
You
to.
should try to gatekeep people on
Better
things they
things
don't
you
know.
don't know.
No, but honestly, what Jack does is an argument for gatekeeping.
Yeah, very
Like, people
true.
are always like, oh, you shouldn't gatekeep. It's like, maybe people like Jack who put, like, the bare minimum just to say that,
Should
like,
be
oh, I know that thing. Maybe there should be gates keeping them out.
It is interesting though, because like when I go deep on subjects, like I get like really deep
Yeah.
in there, but I have a very surface level knowledge of like. It's like I have like a Marina's
An
trench of like
approximate
certain
knowledge of
subjects, and
many
then like
things.
approximate knowledge of many things.
I don't know anything about anything.
I know the things about the things I do know, and that's
I
about
guess I
it.
know.
I
a
only
lot
know what
about
I know.
Terraria.
You know a lot about Terraria, yeah, and Minecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More about Terraria than Minecraft.
But there's more to know about Terraria than there is to know about
There's
Minecraft.
more.
Far more to know.
Well, I don't know. There's Minecraft allows for more complexity with its simplicity. You know,
Not even
with
true.
redstone and stuff.
Sure, but no.
Yeah, I mean, whenever
Anyway.
you have a system
Gaming.
that you can
Game.
essentially, because like the idea that there's like booleans in Minecraft with like the Watchers is so cool. The idea that like you can have like a true false statement in Minecraft and like code around that is kind of sweet.
It's kind of neat, yeah. But I don't really care.
I think it's cool. I think it like I mean
I
there's
like
a lot of have you
those-
seen like the education edition where you can like make a bunch of stuff with elements?
Yeah, it's cool. I guess.
I
If
like
you're,
that you can
12.
find diamonds underground.
That's my favorite part of
You
Minecraft.
can build a pretty house.
I like those, like the programming style games that are like meant to teach you basic programming concepts, but they just fucking suck.
Well, like all
Not good.
like Scratch or Alice are just like bad programming because
Yeah.
it just you can barely do anything. But like you don't learn a ton about programming, and they're also so horribly optimized. I guess Scratch is fine. Alice is terrible. I had to use that for a class. But like it just you don't learn anything from it. You
Yeah.
learn that you never want to use those softwares
Those
again.
are
And that's about
very
it.
Specifically bad for teaching anything. Yeah, kids should just learn Unity
Yeah.
straight up.
Or just learn Python. Like there's code academies.
Or that, but I'm talking about if you were like making games as a
Oh,
child,
yeah.
just like get the Unity Student Edition, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah,
learn
and like just go on YouTube and find tutorials. It's not.
Do you guys remember Sketchstar and Miniclip?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was cool.
that was.
What was
cool.
KidPix? Remember that?
Yeah, KidPix is lit as fuck. That was the actual
KidPix,
application,
yeah.
though. That was like.
That costs $90.
Yeah.
It costs $90
They had to
per,
buy that for
yeah.
every computer in
per,
school.
per partition.
I
Yeah.
remember on Sketchstar, I made like a fucking little thing of stick figures fighting on top of a skyscraper, and it got like 20 likes. I was like, I'm a fucking superstar.
Dude, Flipnote Hatina back in the DS.
Patina?
It was called Flipnote Hatina on the DSi, I'm pretty sure. And I would make some cool ass animations on there. That was like my YouTube when I was younger, because I didn't have like a phone or anything to use YouTube on, or like I wouldn't go on YouTube on a computer. I'd just stay up all night like watching shitty Flipnote animations on my DSi.
That was so cool though. Like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that, like, the aesthetic of that still holds true. Like, there are people who animate in the aesthetic of like the Flipnote kind of version things.
Yeah.
Those look really cool. I I recently got like the Creative Cloud or whatever because my school finally let me have it for
Adobe.
free, and I got like Adobe Animate,
Adobe.
and it's really funny to like use it because it's literally just Flash, like it's
Yeah.
just Flash but like with a couple extra things added on, and it's really funny to see they're just like it's Flash but now it's in dark mode and you also have to pay $20 a month for it.
Yikes.
It's like awesome.
Adobe is pretty cringe.
I don't know. They make good software. Premiere's pretty good. Audition's
Other
pretty
people
good.
make.
We
the
should probably
same-
be recording this in Audition. That would. I
I-
mean, it wouldn't really make a difference, but
I
If you
don't
record
know.
this in photo booth.
yeah, then we'd have
That'd
a visual portion of the podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Set up. A
We should
camera.
have the audio be us, but the visual will just be Matt while he works on his paper.
Just a lo-fi beats to steady to or whatever kind of
Yeah.
aesthetic.
That version.
Yeah.
But you're just hearing us make shitty jokes over top of that.
Instead of
relaxing,
actual
you would
relaxing.
get the bad experience where he's in the room next door trying to do his work.
Oh yeah, we'll muffle it a little
Trying
bit.
to
Well,
do your
It's like
paper.
those videos. It's like X song, but you're in the bathroom during prom.
there,
Vaguely muffled music.
Yeah.
I don't know. There is that one meme that was like, what's it called? Rockefeller Street, but just like playing like outside the house, and it would zoom in, like SpongeBob was lying on the ground. Do you guys remember that?
No.
Like for like the 5 seconds it was on Twitter. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was good. Oh wait, I know what you're talking. I just always saw the ones that were like the fucking cat standing over you was with like the flashing lights in the background. That
Yeah.
meme, whatever.
Is
Memes
humor
are fucking
worse?
dead.
Is humor
Memes are
worse
shit,
now
dude.
in the current time
Don't
Then compared to when?
than compared to like before the internet? Do you think the internet's ruined humor? Do you
yeah.
think
ruined-
the idea of like
I don't
mimetic
know.
humor is...
Fucking irony has been ruined for me, but I don't think humor is ruined in general.
Oh man, I mean I still laugh. Yeah.
But people like,
Maybe like if you look at like really old humor, like fucking Who's on First is bad.
I remember
People,
the
people will fucking on Reddit like show the Who's
Yeah.
on First routine be like still holds up today. No, it doesn't.
It
Who's
was
on First
It was
fucking
funny
sucks.
the first time I ever saw it.
No, it
was
wasn't.
funny.
I remember watching
When
it
did
in
you
sixth
see it?
grade. No, I remember watching it in sixth grade
And
because
you didn't think it was
one
funny
of the
'cause
teachers
you didn't
was-
get it. You didn't understand.
I
the
did
joke.
get it. No, and I remember he was like, "This is
Jack
the
doesn't get Who's on
Do
First.
you guys remember that? It was like field day or
Jack,
something, and they
you
brought us.
still don't understand Who's on First. Admit it.
I just don't. I don't know who's on first. they didn't answer.
Why won't he answer Who's on First?
No, but
How is that funny that he's just not answering the question?
But like, I just remember in field day, it was like, one of our teachers was like, "This is a classic, and it still holds up today." And he plays it, and no one laughed. It was an auditorium full of people, and no one was laughing at anything. And he was like, "And that's classic humor." And we all just like looked around, like, "What the fuck are we doing?"
So like,
Why are we here?
you
Just
could
to
argue
suffer?
that the reason we don't find that funny today is due to changing tastes. I would argue it's because they just didn't have a lot of content back then.
I think it was
So they fucking-
actually racist.
they settled for that shitty bullshit. Now we have
Exactly.
the internet, fucking infinite content. It's a fucking the marketplace of comedy.
Yeah.
The
Well, I
marketplace
also
of
I totally
ideas.
agree with the
Market
idea
forces on humor.
that like just a lack of humor or a lack of or like a certain like vein of humor can like corrupt, because like if you look at like, I don't know, like anime humor, it's like most anime is not very funny. Even like comedy anime,
Yeah.
you like
Well,
watch it
Yeah.
and you're like, that's mildly humorous. Like there are some things that I've like laughed out loud at, but most of the time I'm like, that's mildly humorous, or
Yeah.
I'm just not laughing at all. But like, that's just, they're like, that's comedy. Like that's
Uh-oh,
funny.
I
Joke.
slipped and touched your
That's-
boob.
I don't think
Oh.
that's supposed to be funny. I think that's supposed to be.
That,
horny.
what is that supposed
It's,
to be?
it's
It's
humor.
horny.
Its humor is a very thinly veiled attempt to just show someone grabbing a tit.
Yeah.
But
It's
like
not
that's,
For
really
sexual
humor.
gratification.
is that even
I don't think
gratifying to
they're-
anybody?
they're
For
not disguising-
lonely people who read a shitty harem manga, probably.
I suppose, yeah. He's like, that'll be
Well,
me one
if
day.
somebody's ever laughed out loud at a situation like that, it's purely ironic that they're laughing.
I feel like, I mean, yeah, I suppose.
Maybe Japanese people just aren't funny.
Maybe that's the
they're
problem.
so deadly serious.
Yeah.
They're just like,
I don't understand humor.
Their culture overworks them so much that they can't make jokes.
Yeah.
That is true.
I genuinely believe that. Yeah.
This is a real take.
Actually,
I'm not
the
making
funniest
this up.
joke to most Japanese and Chinese people is just the
the
suicide
fart.
net, because they're like, I tried to commit suicide and it didn't work. That's pretty
That's
hilarious.
Yeah.
That's so ironic. in
Japanese
some way.
people probably like, who's on first? They don't get it because they don't speak English. Like, I don't know, but seems good to me.
It seems really fun. They
Not
get
a
really
whole
riled
day.
up.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're having fun though.
Yeah.
Japanese people like Big Bang Theory.
I mean, there's like stuff where I think it's like Friends.
Bazinga, Naruto.
Bazinga.
Oh, no, this guy. The
This
fucking-
guy. No, wrong.
I don't fucking know, man. Oh, the one guy who learned a little bit of Japanese is now policing art.
Yeah, you're
just
gatekeeping
guessing.
my terrible Japanese.
The gatekeeping comes out again.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like I think I was gonna say that like Friends is pretty popular in Japan. Like Friends is popular like everywhere apparently. Like
Is that
that's
right?
yeah, apparently, and in China too. Friends is pretty popular because everyone's
Because they
like that's
don't have friends.
it's like that's the American
Like,
experience.
Friends, what's that mean?
What? These people hang out with each other? What?
It's like when they showed fuck, how am I forgetting it? There was the movie they showed in Russia. Be like, look, capitalism's bad, and they're like, shit, they got cars, right?
No.
You know that anecdote, right?
I know the anecdote about.
I don't remember the
I don't know the
movie.
movie.
Yeah, or was it like Wall Street or something? Or?
No, it was like a movie
Citizen
about like
Kane.
impoverished people in America.
Gone with the Wind?
Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and they'd show that in Russia, be like, look, see, capitalism's bad, but they're
Or
like,
Grapes of Wrath.
grapes
Might
of
have
wrath
been Grapes.
sounds more right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gone with the Wind
Those
is the
guys
southern
are
one.
fine.
I don't
most of the
I
time.
don't know old movies, alright? But anyways, they showed that, and then they're like, oh, shit, they got cars, so it backfired their plan, right?
Mhm.
Huh.
That's how Friends is in China, where they're like, look, this is the American pig, and then like, they have friends.
Is that a personality?
That was
to watch Friends?
That was a long walk to that punchline.
Fucking.
No, because now it's when I'm sure it was back when Friends was super popular. It's like if they had Tinder profiles back then, it's like
Yeah.
you have to watch Friends
Well, I mean,
to get to know me.
Well, like that was just like a cultural
Instead
osmosis thing, where like it was like when Game of Thrones was on. Like everybody was.
Mm.
I assume it was probably more so because people didn't have
Well,
other things to do.
It's more
That's
akin to like The Office, where it's like this is something that a lot of people have watched and think is funny, as opposed to Game of Thrones, where it's like I'm just watching this because people think it's popular.
Do you ever think about like just like normies? You talk to them and you're just like normies. Like I'm just.
Use it with
No, don't acknowledge that.
It's true.
Keep-
No, but
follow
it's just
through.
you work through and you're just like talking to them. They're like, yeah, this is my 5th time rewatching Friends, and I'm like, is this how you spend your time? Like, because
This is
I
what
mean, you get to the point where like you're.
I've watched Evangelion 5 times, so
I
I'm
feel like
not
you
gonna
can
get upset.
I feel like you get new
Friends
things.
has a
every
lot of
time.
episodes.
Yeah, Friends is like 1,000,000 times longer than Evangelion per capita, but it's just
per capita.
per friend in
If
there.
you look at the American population and divide Friends by that, and then the Japanese population divide Evangelion by
I think
that.
there's a major difference between rewatching just like a serialized comedy TV show versus something that had like cultural impact.
Yeah, I guess if you forget the joke, then you're just like, I guess I'm reliving that
I'm
joke.
laughing again, but I can't rewatch like that kind of TV ever again. I don't rewatch many things anyways, though, so maybe I'm not one to speak about
Yeah,
that.
I guess I've rewatched Hunter x Hunter, which probably has as much things as Friends, like about 4 times. But
episodes are
148.
there's only 140 episodes, Friends.
No, of Hunter x Hunter.
Oh,
I don't know how many
episodes of
Friends.
I'm glad you asked.
I was
You're
like, well, you know this. You
Fucking-
know
well,
there's 148 episodes of Friends.
I don't know. It's also weird that like there's just like a contingent of people who that's all they'll watch on Netflix. Like they won't branch out to do anything. They're like, I guess I'll just
I guess
rewatch
I'm
Friends.
I finished the last episodes of Friends. Time to rewatch it now. Time to get my Friends binge back on now that I'm
Have you ever done that? Have you ever finished like reading or watching something and then immediately you're like, I want to do that again?
No.
Yeah.
I
No,
did-
but that's always just
When I read
like,
the Scott Pilgrim comic, I did
yeah,
that.
no, that's always just like.
And
I
then after the
miss-
second time, I'm like, okay, I got my fill.
Yeah, they're just like I miss
I miss the
that. Like I
characters,
just wanted
yeah.
this to keep going.
But
I remember-
I'm
that's
not
what happened
gonna
at the end
reread
of Diamond is Unbreakable for me and Scott
Yeah.
Pilgrim. But it was just like I was just like I wanted just this JoJo part to
I
keep
like
going.
this.
Scott Pilgrim
This
is good
adventure.
for that because you can read that in a day. You can read that twice in a day if you want it.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Like you did.
I did it not in a day, but like one day, a few days later, then I reread it. again.
there are 236 episodes of
It's
Friends.
somewhat
so-
comparable.
Yeah, relatively comparable. I
Damn.
guess. I mean, I guess you know what? Throwing glass.
Yeah, but fucking, what's the
Throwing glass
Chimera
ceilings
Anarch
through
equivalent
balls.
of the Friends show, right? What's their Chimera Anarch?
What?
What's Friends Chimera Anarch?
Oh, Chimera and Arc.
Yeah.
the
You're
the
fucking
Ross
slurring
the
your
Ross
words.
Ross Rachel saga of them like probably the marriage like when they really yeah.
Friend.
That's true.
I guess Chimera Ant didn't have a ton of
when
build up.
when Rachel comes back, she's like, "I got off the plane."
Yeah, no, exactly.
That scene. That's when Meruem dies.
she walks on the plane and there's Netero in there.
Yeah, doing the Black
Yeah.
Rose,
Yeah.
nuking
I
all
got,
of
out,
New
I
York
got
City.
off the plane because I knew Netero was just gonna fucking nuke the entire thing.
Yeah.
Gonna nuke the city in
The
midair.
thumbnail for this episode should be Meruem with Phoebe's face over it.
And so it will be.
No.
And the fucking who's Phoebe. Phoebe's just has to like give her life to Rachel in order to revive her, but she's still poisoned. So it's
It didn't
it's over.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the end, it didn't even matter. Who's Kamugi? I don't have any frame of reference
I don't-
for Friends.
I don't
Too
know.
many Hunter x Hunter
I don't know
characters.
anyone but the Friends. So
There's, there is like 6 friends and a lot of Hunter x Hunter characters.
Yeah.
We can't play this game. We can't waste.
Well, what? Okay,
We can't waste friends on Kamugi.
She's at least directly related to Meruem.
Yeah, that's
yeah, but I feel like Kamugi like plays more of a like symbolic thing. So there'd probably be a character who purely works as like a
the one
I feel
or
like
2 episode character.
who are the 2 guys besides Russ? Chandler and who?
Joey.
That has to be Gon and Killua because they have a
Yeah.
friendship going.
Yeah.
Chandler and Joey,
And then I guess that means Ross is Leorio.
is Ross Kite?
Ross is Kite. Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
no.
This will work.
This,
We'll figure it out.
this joke reads so well, I'm sure.
Well, like we're eventually gonna get to the point where we're just gonna have to map like male Hunter x Hunter characters onto the female
Yeah.
friends, which I guess we already did.
Kurapika's getting one of the ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of
Who's-
course.
No one's wacky enough to be Phoebe in Hunter x
We
Hunter.
could move on to
Ahsoka.
Seinfeld character.
Ahsoka? Oh my god, make Ahsoka for the thumbnail instead of Meruem. That's
Oh
Phoebe.
hell yeah,
That's
dude! Phoebe as Ahsoka. That
And
makes
Phoebe's
sense.
a pedophile.
Yeah,
In
well,
real
I mean,
life?
lollies are now legal.
Yes.
7 for 7.
But
I get the
The
feeling.
running gag that everyone's keeping track of. They're just waiting every episode.
Waiting until Jack
When's
says-
Jack
Ding
gonna
ding
say?
ding! In bar 1722. That's
When is Jack gonna tell the joke that's not even his?
or not funny either way. But I like the idea that like
It'll come back around. That's what you're counting on.
yeah. Oh yeah. No. Well, I mean that's the point of jokes, right? You tell them until they become
Until
You
they-
wear people down.
yeah. With their unfunniness. I think
It's a good
probably
style of
what's his
comedy.
face Itagaki Rashi. Who's the guy? What's the guy who wrote Hunter x Hunter? Togashi.
Togashi.
Yeah, he was just like watching Friends, and he's like, "This is brilliant. Like, I've got a great idea." And that's how it became.
That's
Yeah, no, I agree.
the end.
That's what happened.
Yeah. That's
They joke that he stops writing to play the new
Idolmaster.
Yeah, Dragon Quest.
Dragon
Quest.
Quest. for him.
Idolmaster's
Maybe not.
Idolmaster is
Berserk guy.
Ramira, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, I
actually,
fucked up my
he's
jokes.
he's one of those people we're making fun of earlier. He's always rewatching all of Friends.
It's like, what's your favorite show? And they're just like waiting for like Evangelion or something, and
Yeah.
he's like, I've rewatched Friends 37 times.
Most of literally half of my waking lifespan has been spent watching Friends.
Imagine.
There they call it Nakamas.
Nakamas.
Yeah, like literal translations.
It's like you've been stuck in gear second.
Yep.
In the opening theme song, it's like you're always stuck in second gear.
Nice.
That's
Hell yeah.
we got it.
I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of Friends, thankfully.
I feel like I must have at some point.
Yeah,
And it just bled out of my brain.
yeah, you. I mean, you know
the
enough to-
characters,
Yeah,
right?
I know. Well, I couldn't remember Joey and
Chandler.
no, I remember Chandler. I couldn't remember Joey.
Ross.
And then there's Ross, Phoebe,
I don't know their names.
Monica.
Yep. I remember
She
like.
fucks Chandler.
Awesome. Chandler's a shit name.
No, it's not. It's fine. It's a Chad name.
I'd say it's slightly below average.
It's a bad name.
I
no
remember
Phineas.
because my sister
No.
and I, we used to like, because it was before like Netflix was like super. I mean, I guess Netflix probably existed for streaming, but it was like late middle school, early high school, and like my sister and I over the summer would just be like, well, we haven't watched X classic show, so we watched like The Office, Friends, and then that 70s
Classics.
show. Well, I mean that's classics in terms of like, I mean those are classics, I guess.
I
That's
guess
sitcom
modern
history. Did you
classics.
watch Cheers?
We did not. Well, that's too old. That's like who's on first level of shit at that
I-
point.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't as refined as the '90s. As
Cheers.
Is How I Met Your Mother, is that 2000s or is that 90s?
that's 2000s.
2000s,
It bled
yeah.
into the 2010s.
Then they
I
had
think.
that 80s show after that 70s show.
Oh yeah,
And,
they did.
The one guy from It's Always Sunny
Yep.
plays one of the characters, Glenn Howerton.
Yep.
Is it?
It's not good. It's not a good
I
show.
don't think it ran that long.
Yeah, rightfully so.
I haven't
Which
seen
that's such like a fucking like. Of course they would make that show. Like you
That
put
80s
you put a
show.
number in the title. That means a spin-off.
Yeah.
It was because I remember wasn't the finale just like they were all like waiting and they're like Happy New Year, it's the new decade.
What of that?
That
70s
70s
show?
show,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I haven't watched
That one,
any that sort of
Generally, I know there's
I don't care about the 70s.
the only thing I
That's
know
not
about
like-
that show was
Acid's cool.
the one hot girl who still has an acting career lied about her age to get on that
Oh
show.
yeah,
It
Mila
was a fun
Kunis.
set.
Yeah, she's cool. She's hot. I mean,
Yes.
I don't really have any strong opinions about her personality. Apparently, she's funny. She plays Meg on Family Guy.
That's
so
true.
Chris Chandler's
So how
really
could
into
she
it.
not be funny?
Yeah.
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 That's-
Really nailing it.
Tage, you're the Meg of this podcast.
Meg talks a lot more in
Shut
like,
up,
Family
Tage.
Guy.
What?
Meg talks a lot
Yeah.
more in Family Guy than Tage does in this
Ooh.
podcast.
Ooh, burn, dude.
Oh.
You're the-
Oh, sad.
who's the Peter? Who's the Stewie? And who's the Brian?
I provide you
Oh,
with
God, we're not doing
peppermint
that.
Bud Light.
We're not doing
Let's keep this going.
Round 2.
Fuck off.
All right.
Oh, God, Jesus.
I mean, obviously Brian's Marilyn.
I'm,
guys seen,
I'm American Father.
Glenn Howerton's new AP bio. You guys seen that,
That-
at
I
all?
haven't seen anything.
I saw like the pilot for that a really long time ago. Are they just
I have
making
not
it?
seen
Didn't it
It did not
grab it or
seem that
something?
funny.
Like
No,
it got
okay.
canceled on NBC
I've not seen
and then
it.
Hulu re-upped
It's
it.
got like 2 seasons, and I think they're making a third. So
Good for
somebody's
him.
watching.
Cash that check, I
Yeah.
guess.
It's jokes about there being a shitty teacher who doesn't care have been done before, and they're done in that pilot. Which I don't know. That it's a pilot, so maybe the
Yeah.
pilot's just
Yeah.
too much setting up stuff up. But it did not seem that awesome to me. It wasn't
no.
bad, but
I like Glenn Howerton, but yeah, I'm not sure.
I hope someone
If I
picks
would
up
watch
Smiling
that.
Friends. I hope adult someone picks up Smiling Friends.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Smiling Friends would be
Smiling
awesome
Friends
if that
is
gets picked up.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
fucking love
That
that.
that pilot's great. Like I feel like that got
Very
a
good.
lot more traction than anything.
Yeah, guys trying to try.
Smiling Friends.
I mean,
We've
it's-
shown you Smiling
yeah.
Friends.
But it's also, I mean, that's the whole thing where like it got a lot of traction, but you don't know how much traction an entire show would get, or if that like passion would die out. But I feel like,
I think they would be able to do it.
oh yeah, but I mean, in general, you look at that and you're just like, Adult Swim doesn't know, and so
Yeah, but
But they don't know.
take
I mean, they
risks
don't
all the
know
time.
with any
Yeah.
show. That show would be relatively
Oh.
less of a risk,
Yeah,
and it's
'cause-
really good.
Yeah, Adult Swim takes risks all the time with stupid shows.
yeah. I mean,
It's on
I guess
Hulu.
like because I remember when Toonami came back as an April Fool's joke. and everyone was like, "We want
We
Toonami
actually
back."
really want
And
this.
then they were like, "Oh, well, it's like we just have to license anime for like 4 hours, like a block of 4 hours, fine." And then like that ended up being really successful because that's a really low.
We should get a deal like that where we license anime audio and we just play it before our podcast actually starts.
Why?
What would we? What kind of audio clips would we just play? Clips of that Fire Force?
We
girl?
just get-
full episodes, just audio.
Just
So
the
it's like
audio.
those live streams of Family Guy. They just as long as you put it on a podcast, it's fine.
Yeah.
You can on
It's like when you
Anchor-
go on Spotify and you find songs that you can't actually upload as a song to Spotify because it's just like a remix and they
Yeah.
don't have the rights to the sample, so they just upload it as a podcast.
There is a
and you
bunch of
can't
those.
add it to your playlist. You're like,
Yeah.
I like it, but
It is really funny. You're like, wait,
That's
why can't
funny
I?
as
Why
fuck.
can't I add this to the playlist? And then you're like, oh, they found a
because
way.
it's an episode of some podcast.
I've
But
not
I-
seen that. But that's funny.
I know that Anchor allows you to put like any Spotify song in front of your podcast, but it can only be seen on Spotify at that point, and we'd lose like half our listener base.
Yeah.
So
Can't throw a money machine at the top.
Damn, that sucks.
we probably could. I don't think 100 Gex would go after us.
I would like to be in legal battles with lawyers.
Would they roll up with their truck?
No.
Yeah, we would beat them in a fight.
Would you send them "I love
Yeah.
you" and then
Yeah.
they'd
I was
fucking ghost
thinking
you?
about it, but yeah, I think so.
I think we did. They're all skinny fucks, and we could kick their ass.
Yeah.
Street fight.
It's only 2 of them, right?
But I'm really thinking about
Yeah.
street fighting because I've been reading Holy Land, this manga, where it's all about street fighting, and I really am getting into the idea of trying to learn a martial art to just kick the shit out of some.
the
some
classic
random-
shonen conundrum. You're like, now that I've seen
Now
that I've
read
Ippo throw a
this,
punch, I
now
think I should
wouldn't do that.
I think I should get into boxing. I think
I
I
do-
should try a Dempsey roll.
I do like the idea of venting my rage by beating the shit out of another human being.
I've always liked the idea of combat in terms of like a logistics battle or like a like technical battle, more than a goddamn like just like punching another person because I don't like hurting other people. So I think that would be kind
I
of.
think it would be very cathartic.
I suppose.
Product review 2.0. The cranberry seltzer, way fucking better.
Just it tastes like a regular
That's
seltzer.
a-
Yeah.
that's-
I honestly have no clue how they could approve this. How they could go like this
Yeah.
might, like I could see how if they like release this like just these in a pack on their own.
Yeah, as like not.
But to like mix it in with other flavors that people.
Well,
want.
otherwise they wouldn't be able to sell.
I almost. Wanna,
I feel like you could produce.
I almost want to look this up just to see if there's as much outrage as I feel there should be. Tage,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
look
talking
it
about?
I'll look it up.
Yeah,
How many-
Tage is
okay,
who's the
yeah.
guy in Joe Rogan who looks stuff up for him?
Oh yeah, fucking. I don't.
How many people
That was-
should
it would've
get
been funny
fired
if we
for
remember.
That'd be a
having this
good
go
joke
through?
if I knew. That's Tage is that guy.
How many
Yeah.
people should get fired for having peppermint patty Bud Light
on
seltzer
their resume, they came up with the peppermint.
I think
patty
every
Bud Light
factory
seltzer.
worker who was involved in
Should
getting
be-
that can
should jump into
should
the
Yeah,
be
suicide net.
shoved off
Yeah.
a fucking plank and see if they can make it through the suicide net.
See if they can.
Yeah, walk the plane.
Yeah, walk the.
I like the idea in this idea of the
The
factories are like on top of like a tall building, so instead a net would be needed. Like
Yeah, it's like that wouldn't just kill
like
you.
a skyscraper with just a factory at the top.
It's just- it's like a regular office building, but you just like see just like these disheveled like poor workers
Yeah.
like going to the top.
After a certain point, the net would not save you. You'd go through it like it was a cheese grater.
Probably.
That's why you have a net every floor.
Yeah, so you just like breaks your fall. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
You would 9/11 proof your building. That
Get
way.
cut into a
Yeah.
million pieces. as
Okay,
you fall
no, you
into the
but no,
last
you
net.
wouldn't because the
No,
people who were
'cause the net,
jumping
no,
down-
because the nets would catch the planes.
we can go through steel beams, but we cannot make it through this net.
Make it out of
Steel net,
what's a stretchy material?
spider silk,
Nylon?
nylon,
Rubber?
What's the Hunter x Hunter? Fuck.
bungee gum,
Bungee gum.
bungee gum.
With the property, I guess, yeah, because
The properties of both rubber and gum.
that's. I do
Yeah.
hate that, like, now anytime anyone ever mentions Hunter x Hunter, they're always just like, man, you know, it'd be really funny if I did the Banji gum meme. That's funny, right?
I don't have that issue because I don't talk to anybody about Hunter x Hunter.
Do you think
Besides
Hisoka
you
could have
guys.
stopped 9/11?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No, he would have been like.
Ahsoka would have done 9/11.
It's like in the volleyball game where Ahsoka he catches the plane, but he's just like gone wanted a perfect victory, so he slingshots the plane back at like Osama bin Laden, and it runs straight into his compound. So that's he catches him, and then Osama bin Laden's like, "I'll just catch the ball," and then it's just like, "No, it's a sticky plane that blows up."
Yeah, that makes sense.
Of course. Yeah. Ahsoka would have stopped 9/11. We got it.
He could have, but he want to.
Yeah,
He-
no,
he did
he was the guy
9/11.
in the plane. Yeah.
He did 9/11. America deserved 9/11.
I mean, Senior Cuomo has killed more people than 9/11 at this point.
The
with his nursing
Phantom
home.
Troop stole the election.
He stole all the votes.
They suctioned all the votes.
Yeah, the Phantom Troop stole all of Donald Trump's mail ballots. That's when that one place they're like, how did that many come in for Biden, but zero for Trump?
And then you just see the hot
You
air
see the
balloon.
girl
and
with the vacuum sucking them all up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you have the guy. No, but it's like a montage of different people like rigging the election different ways, and like Phaeton like puts his.
Or there's the
yeah,
copy
puts-
bitch. She's copying
Yeah,
votes from
no,
one
it, like
side to
it
another.
puts in like he puts in the thing and he like controls people individually
Yeah.
to like vote for Biden, and they walk out and then he undoes it and there's just like a pile of dead people. It's like right after they voted for Biden, they just
They're
died
dead.
on the spot.
How are these dead people voting?
Man, if you haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, this episode's gonna fucking suck.
You should watch Hunter x
And we had that
Hunter.
bit earlier about Death Note, where it's like, if you haven't seen that, you just don't get the joke.
I
at
feel
all.
like Death Note's
That's-
Oh no, that one's about pissing your pants. That one's that one's still funny even if you don't know.
There's something relatable about that, yeah.
Yeah, stop crinkling there.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's probably bad.
Chronicle. I don't know. I think that's possible. I think Trump is just like I tried to get together a bunch of judges, and they were like, I tried to take him down, but then the Phantom Troop
Yeah.
hired Elamy to kill all of the judges that were going
Yeah.
to take me down. And he's like, it's rigged.
The Oreos.
The Zoldyck family was hired to kill Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah. They infiltrated the Ruth Bader Ginsburg compound.
They're about to. Oh my god! They're about to kill Trump, and Trump's like fighting against. Senior Zoldyck and Grandpa Zoldyck, and then like right as that
Zoldyck.
happens, Elamy's like, I did it, I killed Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and they're like, I guess we don't have anything to do, our client's dead.
Damn.
this would be a good show.
This is
And then in the
The
Chimera
America
Antarctica just
anime.
turns into Friends.
Well,
Of course.
the Chimera Antarctic obviously has to take place in North Korea, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
well,
that
that's
one
the
guy.
parallel.
all the ants are crawling out of North Korea.
The real life parallel to the Chimera Antarctic is literally just ants in North Korea doing the same
Yeah.
thing they do in the show.
Yeah, no, it's
Nothing changes except it's North Korea.
There's no Nen, and we just nuke.
We
them.
just nuke them instead
Yeah.
of having the whole rose
Yeah.
nuke thing.
Poisonous nuke.
I feel like if you just like, I don't know, because I feel like the ants are fast enough that they could probably like see a nuke coming and
And run. They
just-
outrun it.
you might be able to outrun a nuke.
But
Like
here's
if you're
the thing: what they know to do, so would they say, oh, "It's a piece of metal," right? They're like, "What's that going to do to me?"
Yeah, they're not smart enough to know this yet.
They can sense Nen, but it's like, remember the episode of Hunter x Hunter where they find like the fucking pot and it has Nen around it? Like this was crafted expertly.
all
All
nukes are just-
the fucking high level engineers who work on the nukes, they'd see that they're like, something's dangerous.
every instinct P2 had told her to run.
Yeah.
So to run from this hunk of metal flying to the sky. I guess the cheetah guy, he could probably outrun a nuke.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's about the only one of them.
Well,
He's pretty
he's
fucking
stupid, so
fast.
he might not.
Yeah, he might not.
yeah. Unless you like carpet bombed him with nukes, because
Carpet bomb.
I assume if you did it like in an area, but just like one nuke, I feel like they might be able to outrun it. Because if they saw it coming from far enough away, they could just.
It's like, okay.
Just run
It's like
away.
in the Chimera Anarch where Merrim's playing all the games against people, he beats them, but then he can't beat the one girl. It's like he's playing all the games with people, but then there's the AI nuke from War Games. It's like, play tic-tac-toe. This works somehow.
and then when he's fighting.
And then he's like, I can't beat you in
Just keep-
tic-tac-toe. I'll let you live.
You know, it's just like, we'll just keep tying. Like, So then at the very end, he just ties with
Yeah.
Netero, and he's like, "See, it's pointless."
I'll be honest. I just remembered War Games. There's nukes, and they tie tic-tac-toe, and I made that connection to the Chimeran arc. I didn't think much more about it.
I have not seen any of War Games except for like the last 5
I haven't
minutes.
seen any of it. I just know that's how it ends.
Where my dad was like, "Oh, Jet, come, son! But War Games is on the TV." And it was like the last 5 minutes, and I'm like, "What's this
with
about?"
the tic-tac-toe.
And he's like
yeah.
playing tic-tac-toe, and he's like, "I'm showing it that it's pointless to play tic-tac-toe like this because everyone's just gonna lose." And then it does the simulation of like all the nukes just like bombing everything, and it's like, "You would make a good Dalek," and then
I don't think that's what it said. Probably not that, but something like that. Yeah.
That's how AI actually works too.
I don't know what happened for the rest of that movie because that feels like
I
a
just
pretty
know
open and
there's
shut.
there's like an AI fucking gains sentience and for some reason wants to nuke everything. And just at the end they play tic-tac-toe and they keep tying. It's like, see, that's what nuclear warfare is like.
So it's
and
like
AI's like, oh.
it's like Doctor Strangelove. Then that movie.
I haven't seen that movie.
That movie has
Yeah.
the exact same message, pretty much.
Except for there's no computer, they just
Except
people
it's-
do
it's
that.
funnier.
Yeah.
There's not a lot
Yeah.
of pro-nuclear warfare movies out there, unfortunately.
Doctor Strangelove is at least funny with it, I guess.
Isn't that what Godzilla is? Pro-nuclear war?
All I know
Yeah.
about War
Look at
Games.
how fucking cool this
All I know
is.
about War Games is that in the book Ready Player One, he has to perfectly reenact it, and he does first try.
I remember
so
he's
fucking lame.
like, after the first 30 minutes, it just started to breeze right by. Like, that entire book made me, like, retroactive, because I wrote it in France when I was under house arrest. So I was just like, this is my only lifeline, and I was enjoying it. But after that, like,
Only
I was just
connection
like,
to
man,
American
this, like, because I just remember specifically that part where he was like, that one Atari game, like Adventure, that was like the one like RPG, like the first RPG ever made.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I bet you don't know this game." And he takes the box art and he covers the name and he shows it to him and he's like, "That's Adventure for the Atari." And he's like, "What?" And then everyone's like, "You're so cool."
For me, the most egregious moment was like where he like randomly goes to like some planet and they like perfectly there's like a bunch of houses there. He perfectly figures out which house to go to, and then there's like a Pac-Man arcade machine, and he just like guesses like for some reason. I probably got to get a perfect score on this.
Yeah.
Right. Which if
Probably.
you know anything about Pac-Man, you know getting a perfect score is like incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Like it has been done, I'm pretty sure. But
It's
like
well, there's a certain point where it stops counting.
Yeah.
And so it's a speed run to that.
yeah,
but it's still
there's like
very hard.
there's like a perfect way to route it to get it as fast as possible.
yeah.
And he does that. He's just like, oh yeah, I can do that.
What is this book?
Ready Player One, and it's just
He's all
about
ready.
jerking.
It's like 80s. It's
It.
both 80s circle jerk, but then also like
Um,
modern culture
yeah.
circle jerk.
Well,
where-
it's like futuristic circle
yeah,
jerk.
it's just it's bad. It's
Yeah,
bad.
no, I just like there's one
The
paragraph.
movie's bad. The book is worse.
You know,
There's
as
one
soon as you
paragraph.
include like references to like classic media like that in your work, as if it's like, that's how you automatically know what you're writing is not going to be considered a classic ever.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, there's like Back to the Future had a shit ton of like cheesy like 80s stuff in it, but it was distinctly its own because
Yeah.
it used that 80s stuff in service to like a plot. But Ready Player One is all that. Like the entire
Just
point of that book
references.
is like reference, and so there's nothing beyond like because I mean. I feel like there's a misnomer where like making a piece of media dated, where it's like, oh, you put like this one thing that is
Yeah.
very of its time. Like I think that's good
It's
because
fine,
that media is going to be of its time, and so like
no matter what. Yeah.
yeah, so like everything is going to be like inherently kind of that time, so you might as well like embrace what it was made in. So I don't know.
I think the movie's bad too, but to its credit, I think the reference heavy nature works better with the movie because like you just
Yeah.
like especially the scene I'm thinking of is like where they have like the big battle at the end and like you just like
Yeah.
spot like, oh, there's that person from that. And
There's
that.
Chun-Li and
right.
Iron Giant.
So like, and it
Firing
happens.
lasers.
It happens quickly, and they like don't waste your time on it. So it's like if you do notice it, it's more gratifying. Which
Yeah.
that movie is still bad, but it works better. in the
Yeah,
context.
because
Sure.
he has to go out of his way to like make note of like all these different
yeah,
things.
to reference a character in a movie, you put it in the background. To
Yeah.
reference it in the book, you have to spend time, and the person will read your reference, and then
Yeah.
if they don't get it, they're like, okay. I was upset in the movie though
Whatever.
because in the book they fucking there's Japanese guys and they have Evangelion robots that they fly around.
Yeah,
with.
no, that's
And then it's not in the movie.
well, they
'Cause,
had
like-
like Ava. They had like one of the Evas, but then at the
Yeah.
very end they did get the Gundam, and you
They
could
got
tell.
the Gundam.
Yeah, you could tell in the movie, like, they were like, you're not going to be able to use this Gundam unless you, like, jack it off super hard. Because that
Which is
Gundam...
true. They
That,
should.
that Gundam scene
Picking
was...
Gundam is the right choice because like more people probably,
Yeah.
or will at least be like nostalgic for it. I don't know. It works better because it also just aesthetically like fits
Yeah.
in better.
Did they use
But
women for
goddamn,
that,
I wish
or-
they had an Ava in that fucking movie.
Oh, dude, that'd be so fun.
I would
Well,
like that movie if there's a fucking
okay, you know what? Fucking
rendered Ava fighting.
Ava?
Holy
CG.
shit!
I would buy that movie if there was a live action.
Wow,
I would
Yes,
literally just watch that. That would be
But there's a
Just
like
that scene,
okay, if
just
they
that.
replaced the Iron Giant with the Ava, that would be infinitely better. Like that would
Make
make that
more sense. Yeah.
well because just the idea of like the Iron Giant being like I
time to
I-
fight and kill.
Just one of my
just
favorite,
seeing,
like-
Unit 1 go fucking
Yeah.
berserk. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
That's too
against
cool.
Mecha. Well, it goes against like Mecha Godzilla. Like imagine Ava Unit 1 going
I
berserk
think I
against
would
Mecha
be
Godzilla.
more disappointed if that was in there because it would be wasted on that movie.
No.
No, because
the,
you're still
the
gonna
fucking
like
special effects were good enough. I don't care,
Yeah.
dude. They did the fucking they did the Shining justice, right? They would do an Ava justice. I believe
yeah.
it would be have a stupid role in the plot,
Yes.
but just the fan service, I'd nut.
Absolutely.
Okay, easily
no.
pleased.
I think that I mean like One Piece Stampede is all fan service, but the entire point of the movie is just like look at how cool this thing is, and we put a ton of money into
By the way, can we
animating
talk
it.
about the fucking ending of that movie? What a shitty ending where it's like, now that I'm rich and have a girlfriend, and now I'm going to make us your one escape from the literal dystopia that we live in. You can't do it. Like, 2 days of the week, you just can't.
It was
do
like the weirdest message of all time. 'Cause it's
It's
like,
like, what?
oh,
Okay, what if you're like someone who fucking like, oh, those are the 2 days like I don't have work.
yeah.
Right? It's like you just don't get to be in your one escape from the bleak reality you live in.
Yeah, for reference.
Which it'd be one thing if they said like, and that caused people to better the world, but no, the world doesn't improve.
yeah, no, he
Just
literally
this
just
company
says,
changes ownership.
yeah,
That's the happy ending.
He was like-
a company in this
Yeah.
hell world. They've just shown us a company changes ownership.
and he's still like, they're still like the evil corporate because they take down like the big bad CEO.
They
but-
stopped the CEO from taking over that company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
They
like, oh,
still exist.
you think that was
Or
the only
does
thing?
he get arrested? at the end?
I don't even know if
he's
he's
I don't
arrested.
remember
the
the
only
movie.
bad person in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The guy who will replace him be totally fine. I think it's just weird though because it's like you look at that and the message of the entire movie I thought was supposed to be like, oh, the people you like meet online, like meet through all this stuff, you can find like common interests and
Yeah, like how do you fucking take like a don't be online so much take in that movie?
yeah. The movie where like
Where
the
he
re-
wins because he was always
because he was just a
online.
fucking loser ass
The
nerd.
guy who is the most online, obsessed with being on the internet in this game person in the world from how they portrayed
Yeah.
it, is the one who gets all the rewards. And then you're going to go like, oh, by the way, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't be
actually.
online anymore.
I don't know.
Stop.
Which I don't think that's how the book ends. I think that's more of a movie thing. We're just,
They didn't want to
for
show.
some reason, they're
They
like,
can't have an anti-capitalist
some
message
fucking
in this
idiot
movie.
management guy in a suit was like, well, we should also say to not be online too much after snorting
Yeah.
a rail of coke. Just be
He's
like,
just like
he's like, all right, we got the rights to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for reference. Also, at the very end, say to not be online too
his
much.
only two contributions for the entire year was just like snorting coke all day, and then he's just like, but also don't go online.
I've done 3 things with this movie: cocaine, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the moral.
The moral of the story in the writer's room.
That
I think the most unrealistic thing about that whole movie is the severe lack of scantily clad anime women avatars.
the amount of
Oh, yeah.
the amount of cat girls
there
that would
would
be
not
on that
be.
on
There's
that
not
world.
enough big boobed anime cat girl
Yeah.
characters.
Well, like Final Fantasy 14, like
This is weird.
pretty much every MMO,
Ready Player One.
it's
You
just
ever heard
like
of Ready Player
consistently,
One?
if you have a cat girl
Yeah.
as an option to pick,
There's
that will always be the
everyone,
most popular
yeah.
race every single time. There's no
There's no ifs, ands, or
Which-
large anime butts about it.
which like
Yeah,
I
what,
mean
what anthropomorphized animal do you find most attractive, guys?
Cat girls.
foxes.
Foxes are good. Anything
Yeah.
with like cute animal ears.
The problem is though, like,
Yeah.
are you weirded out by the fact that they have like 2 sets
No,
of ears
I'm
or
not
no
bothered by
ears down
that.
here?
No, I'm,
What about
I'm
the s-
more bothered by the no ears down, like no regular ears.
No, I think
bothers
no
If
me.
the hair,
ears is
I
better.
prefer that the hair covers it so you don't know.
Yeah,
But
that's
I mean,
the best compromise.
we're talking idealized. So when you're railing them, when you're railing them,
Why did your character their ear?
If I did,
what if you feel their ear?
if I move the anime cat girl's hair to see where her ears would be, I would be more upset if there was no ears.
Yeah, I would be more bothered.
I would
by
not.
the
I think
fact
the
that
two
they
sets
had
of ears
more.
is fucking weird because then it just looks
It's
like a
weird.
cosplayer.
Okay,
It's weird
that's also
it's-
fine.
It's weird conceptually, but at the end of the day, I want it to be a cosplay. I don't want it to be like a literal different species. The more
Well, then
Well,
you
okay.
that's a weak
I
that's
think
a
we're
weak
having a
constitution.
different. I'm fine with them being a different species and having like real
of course I'm
animal
fine with them
ears.
being a different species,
but-
but I want to see them as like just a exotic version of a human. You
Sure,
know?
yeah. I mean,
Which
sets
the
of
ears take away from that, right?
Yeah.
The ears they approach more of the alien territory. They're not
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
there yet.
Two
It's
sets of
not a
ears is
deal
weird.
breaker.
I just think two sets of ears is really weird.
why?
Do
What is
all
it- what's
anime
so
cat
weird
girls
about
have two
that?
sets of ears?
Not necessarily.
This is the
but-
It
debate.
depends. Yeah, it really depends on the cat girl. I think Fubuki's confirmed to only have one set of ears.
Anime
Okay.
cat.
Fubuki?
I mean, you can't
Who's
really
that?
see her
Is that a
ears.
VTuber?
Yes.
Okay.
Said a VTuber. Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. I
See,
mean,
most of the time
hair
they
is
cover
covering,
it.
yeah.
But if you pull back the hair, what would you prefer to see? Ear or no ear?
well, because the ear's up there. You just associate the ear with
Well,
like.
that's Jack's take. I want to hear
I don't
Taise's.
associate those ears with
I
being
need to
ears that they
see
listen with.
It with
I think
both
those are
sets of
There's
ears.
vestigial.
You gotta
They're
type
fucking
in.
cats.
I think
gotta
those
type
are
in
like
ears.
vestigial ears that they don't really use.
That's-
They're just
that's-
there to be cute.
That's a very human-centric way of putting it. That's a very.
This having anthropomorphized animals is already very human.
See, isn't that fucking disturbing for you?
No,
I don't know. I think that's fine.
Yeah, what's wrong with
Yeah,
that?
it's
No,
fine.
There's
no,
literally
no,
nothing
that
wrong
bothers
with that.
me.
I want the ears.
No,
I
because
want 'em-
the ear's up there. Like it's literally just the
Throw
ear
it in
moves.
Gmail and subreddit.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, that sucks.
Yeah, thanks.
I can't
thanks.
fuck
Thank you,
her
thanks.
ear holes if she doesn't have
Yeah, you can.
ears.
Oh,
you
you
can
can-
fuck her ear holes more effectively if she has those big furry ones.
Yeah.
No,
'Cause
like,
I feel
I
like
can
the
already
ear
fuck
canal-
those ones if she has both of them.
You can.
Oh yeah.
This is
So you want to fuck it? You're just spoiled for choice with these animal
these
fucking ears.
Yeah.
That's why the most attractive thing to me is a anthropomorphized Swiss cheese.
And,
Okay.
what would that look like?
It would be the holy
Some-
Like just like
a
SpongeBob.
pale yellow person with
SpongeBob,
holes all
yeah.
over their body. Yeah, like SpongeBob. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
cool.
gross. I don't like it.
Would you fuck SpongeBob?
If he wore a wig.
Okay.
What's his big spongy dick look like?
He doesn't have one.
Why? I mean, that's a leading question. Why do you throw big in there? Like,
He doesn't have one.
it looks like his nose.
We all know it's big.
It looks like his nose looks long, thin.
Alright.
Long, thin, pencil shaped.
Every SpongeBob character's penis looks like their nose. Squidward has a long one that flares.
Okay.
What a horrible life to live if you're like that's his erect penis. Is his
Yeah.
just like flaccid
Patrick
nose.
doesn't have a penis. Mr. Krabs is like the black Squidward's nose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
he
don't-
fucked
I
a
don't know.
whale.
Look up a picture of Mr. Krabs.
No, we
And
don't
his
need to do
penis.
that.
What would it look like if you mapped Hunter x Hunter characters to SpongeBob?
I think this has been
Yeah.
done. I mean,
All
obviously,
right.
Gon and Kilo and Patrick and
Oh my
And-
god. Let's stop actually
yeah,
doing
let's
it.
not. Actually.
Alright, goodbye.
Squidward's
Oh, we
Ahsoka.
did.
Oh, we're
I feel like I need to watch Hunter x Hunter now.
Yeah,
yes,
watch,
you should
watch
watch
Hunter x
Hunter x Hunter.
and then
So
watch
back-
this podcast.